So I'm back here at my apartment after getting discharged from Riverside Hospital. I was scheduled to be there for 5 days for an epilepsy study, but I discharged myself today. Because just in the environment there, I'll tell you about my forehead in a second. They just didn't give me the environment like I needed to, because like before I went to the hospital, there was multiple instances where I was having these crazy experiences, and the closest definition I could look up online was simple partial seizures. And so that's why I was having this hospital stay. And if no one recognizes these bumps, they glued pretty much almost like rubber cement, all these electrodes all over my head, like the sides, all the way around the back. And then they would place these like rectangles of like gauze, and then they would like use a brush and like, I forgot what this stuff was called, but it's like very adhesive stuff, and of course makes the gauze stick to your head, and then when it dries it's like bone dry, and feels like it originally felt like it was just pulling my forehead up. And today was my third day of going through with that, and look what it did to my head. Right here, I noticed this after the first night of like sleeping, and like a corner of a piece of gauze was like pressing into my forehead. It created this blister, and at one point it was filled up with like water or pus, almost to where it looked like I had a worm on my forehead. And I assumed that the rest of my head would be marked up by the time I had to get the electrodes taken off. I had no clue that it was going to be this bad, let alone when I discharged myself early on the third day instead of staying for a fourth and fifth day. Yeah, they had one coming down here. One of these two, maybe this one up here, when they were taking them off, like started bleeding. Great experience. If you notice, there's some pretty nasty like whiteheads that were created. So I got a couple of those on some of the other spots. And of course can't see myself right now, but there's just a boatload of spots back here. So it's gonna take who knows how many weeks for these marks to go away in my head. It's kind of embarrassing to like wear a hat out in public now, and I'm really hoping that I don't have any like permanent scarring. So anyways, yes, I still got some of the glue residue on my darn eyebrow. Probably need my eyebrows trimmed anyways. Yeah, I'll be wearing a hat for a while. Still got that darn mark in there. So back to my apartment. So basically, the hospital room I had was actually about, turn this light on. It was about 3/4 the size of my living room. It was actually a decent size. And it only had one bed. I made a video about it during my first day, if you want to check it out. So I had a good amount of room to walk around on, but my electrodes were hooked to like a pole, like they rolled around, and then, well, first they were hooked to like this almost like man purse thing I had, and then from there the cord was hooked to the pole to another unit, and then from the unit it was ran to a computer and like this computer type looking thing mounted on the wall. So they told me they didn't have like the portable EEG so I could really trigger like those potential seizures. But because I told them, I said the only time they really happened were A, when I was usually wearing contact lenses, which blurred up on me all the time, and B, when I would be like walking around the grocery store and just have all this like detail and all these aisles and walking up and down the aisles and my vision blurring up and everything just being thrown off, and then me like trying to put up with the blurred vision, and then I would start having my typical symptoms I deal with of feeling near faint and dizzy and feel like I'm gonna pass out. Then I'd have like an anxiety attack because of it, and then on a few occasions I would have the potential simple partial symptoms. Got a nice mountain of shoes going on. Since I was restricted to that hospital room, first of all, it was extremely boring. I was like in the back corner and I couldn't like peek my head out. If I could almost peek my head out if I stretched my EEG cords out enough, if I wanted to like introduce myself to the lady in the room next to me, but I didn't actually didn't see her until the third day today, when they actually got to leave the room to go on a nice long trip. This hospital is fairly huge, down a couple long ass hallways to get a telltale test done. So I finally saw what my neighbor in the hospital looked like. Yeah, where I was, it was pretty much my door was like in a corner, and then like you walk out, there's like this, I don't know, basically wrapped around a corner, and there was like an emergency exit right here, and you would have to go around that corner to like see this long hallway. Just saw someone running by. There he is, orange shirt. So yeah. So I got this cup. Got these darn marks on my forehead now. Did not have any of those potential seizure symptoms while I was there, but something else happened, which kind of prolonged my stay. If this wouldn't happen, I probably would have asked to leave yesterday, or like or I would have left early this morning instead of like 6:30. Last night, I was sitting there chilling. This was fairly normal heart rate. I would just sit on the bed, playing on my iPhone I'm using right now, And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. It's 17 beats of ventricular tachycardia. If you look, there's a big difference compared to a normal heartbeat. And then it started going back to normal. That's why I had a tilt table test today. And it's kind of ironic because the last time I went to my own cardiologist, he refused to even like take my heart rate or blood pressure, let alone run any other tests, because I told him I was having increased near fainting episodes and feeling dizzy all the time. And he told me there was absolutely nothing wrong with my heart. And then what do you know? This happens. If anyone's not familiar with ventricular tachycardia, if you don't get it taken care of, if it's not, there's like at least one instance where it wouldn't be cause for concern. That would be if your potassium or magnesium was low. But I was told that mine was fine. My levels were checked out okay, which is kind of a bad thing because I was hoping they would be low. Because this right here could be cause for sudden cardiac death, and you could take like beta blockers to control them, which I don't want to do. I don't want to take the beta blockers because they were going to start me on the exact same metoprolol dose that I was started on in the past when I started having near fainting episodes, and that was 25 milligrams twice a day, and I just felt like a complete zombie. It like made my near fainting episodes worse. I couldn't even leave my apartment. I could barely, like, not this apartment, when out in Illinois, I could barely walk out to check my mail and make it back to my apartment without feeling like I was just going to fall to the floor. So the other option to stop that and to stop yourself from suddenly dying, which is probably a good idea. I don't know if I'm being dumb for waiting and trying to get more input on it, but well, my tilt table test I passed today. I had sinus tachycardia, which isn't as bad as ventricular tachycardia, but and even though I had at least 2 instances of sinus tachycardia during the tilt table test, I probably had a lot more. The cardiologist who reviewed the results said that everything was fine, and I passed, and he said there was nothing abnormal, and that whatever dizziness I was having, he said it wasn't my heart or my heart rate or my blood pressure, which at least found something out, something recent. But yeah, the other option to fix the tachycardia is to get it either typically a catheter up through your groin, up your like artery, which I had before, just to get a picture taken. But this time someone would be going up with like one or more wires that would, forget what kind of wires they're called, but they would go inside your heart, and on the end, oh yeah, I think they were electromagnetic. They would, like one of them would map out, I don't know if all electrophysiologists do that, but I was reading about one that would like map out like an inner 3D view of your heart, and then it'd be able to pinpoint where the tachycardia was being like what was causing it, like different tissue inside your heart, and then they would go, and then one wire would basically burn your tissue off, or like dull it, and they would do their best to try and fix the problem so you wouldn't have the VTAC anymore, and you'd greatly reduce your risk of sudden cardiac death. So yeah, obviously going to consider having it done, even though it kind of sucks. I just had a annoying experience at a hospital, so still got this darn glue on my forehead. But of course I know I just need to think past that and realize that my heart, my life is important, and I need to try and understand like what I'm looking at here, and that this could result in me like overexerting myself and like playing basketball or like running around the track or something, and this happening like while I was running, and I would just like die right there on the track or on the basketball court, like a couple high schoolers did a few years ago during like after basketball games. And heck, when I play, I feel like I'm gonna collapse. So I passed the stress test like 9 to 11 months ago, whenever it was. But of course things have changed since then. I had an episode of ventricular tachycardia when I was with my parents running on the treadmill, and that was not fun because it catches you by surprise, and it's like pretty extreme. When it happened to me on the treadmill, thank God they had one that had like handrails on the side, and I was able to just grab both handrails, and I was pretty out of shape. I wasn't going super fast, but fast enough to where like it was hard to handle the tachycardia while it's happening, and then like I was freaking out at the same time, and then trying to reach up, like slowly, like I was trying to slowly decrease the treadmill speed because I don't know, I was kind of like in panic mode, because normally I slowly decrease the speed instead of just pressing the stop button and getting off and then trying to walk and having like my inertia all thrown off. So I was like slowly decreasing the speed, and I was eventually it like stopped, and then I was able to walk it off, but I was like fairly dizzy when I got off the treadmill. I'm kind of like in shock about like what happened. And like, it freaked me out to like get on the treadmill again after that, which I've done a few times since then. But yeah, it sucked to have to go through that again, or a worse instance of that, and then you just like fall off the treadmill and then have like a heart attack or something, or just hurt yourself. Yeah, for like my discharge instructions, I said to this ain't it. Where did I put them? Famous for making long videos. Oh, wherever they are, they're probably in my book bag. The discharge instructions basically said to follow up with the same cardiologist that said they refused to to even like take my blood pressure the last time I saw him. So it'll be funny to go to him. It's the same guy that told me that these things weren't happening to me. Here we go. Yep, Gregory Lamb. Gotta go confront the guy that basically told me to go fuck off. It says proximal ventricular tachycardia. I don't know what proximal means. But I'm gonna go. And the next month I have my disability hearing, and these are just a small portion of my medical records. The rest of my records would make my stack like twice as big. But yeah, I'm gonna work on staying alive for now, just so I can make it to my disability hearing. But see how things go.